guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to be covering a highly anticipated part 2 to a story I covered last week, which was titled, I discovered my college girlfriend had been cheating for years, so I posted proof on Facebook and hooked up with many of her friends. And guys, as a recap, that's about the guy who shared his story, an embarrassing story, but it ended very well on a high note, who for 3 years in college did the long-distance relationship, thought he had a great girlfriend, and this dude was amazing to her as a boyfriend, but found out in the end of his junior year, not only did he find out she was cheating on him in that moment, but she'd been cheating on him for years, all throughout college in the long-distance relationship that he had wanted. Even worse, as he found out that for at least a period of time, she got a job as a dancer. And I don't mean ballet or tap dancing, the other kind of dancing. So we know there's all sorts of things going on beyond just her shaking her butt on stage, because, they make their real money going in the back, and special dances and other things. So as you can imagine, the dude was pretty hurt. But our guy got great revenge on her by revealing and exposing what she's been up to on Facebook. That's a great touch. And in the icing on the cake, hooked up with some of her friends. Well, anyhow, he ended his story with the theme of don't do long-distance relationships and all these other things. But he ended it on a cliffhanger for us, saying that there was more to the story as she came back into his life. And he did a great job of the cliffhanger, because I do that all the time. And all you guys were repeatedly saying, update, update. You wanted to hear what happened next with her? Her name was Jessica. Well, our guy here is to share today what happened with her. And again, proving they always come back, as well as other little tidbits I think you guys are going to get a great laugh about. So anyhow, guys, you definitely will enjoy this. So the story continues. He says here, Dear SSM, I am following up on my initial story about Jessica. I actually had 2 separate encounters with her after a breakup. The first was a chance encounter. Hear that, guys? 2 encounters. They always come back. Well, I graduated and moved back to my hometown to start my career out of college with a manufacturing company. I also started working for my parents as a partner on their farm. You're a hardworking guy. Good for you. I was out at a small bar one night that a couple of my friends like to frequent. They both like to hit on the bartenders. That was a waste of time. Of course it is. Don't waste your time hitting on bartenders and waitresses unless you are like a 9 or a 10. And even then, good luck. Well, we would go to shoot pool or to embarrass ourselves on karaoke night. I was with 2 friends playing pool that night in a separate room away from the main bar. I was thoroughly distracted in conversation with my friend Dave when he walked back to the bar area. His eyes were wide and he had a blank stare in his face. He walked over to me and spoke softly. Dave told me that Jessica was in the main bar with a random guy. Well, it's only a matter of time. You're from the same small town, and of course she has a guy there. I'm sure somebody has to pay for her, right? My initial reaction was to leave as soon as possible. I wasn't in the mood to see her or especially speak with her face to face. It had been roughly a year since we had broken up, and I thought that she moved several hours away. Nope, guarantee you she's keeping tabs on you. My other friend Zach was with us playing pool. He told me to not even worry about her and just enjoy the evening. I thought about my options and decided to stay. In my head, it made sense not to let her ruin a good Friday night. I wasn't the person that should be embarrassed. Well, dude, yeah, I agree. Don't let her ruin your night. You were going to hang out with your bros at the fun bar playing pool. Why should you leave? Well, on the other hand, if you're going to be miserable the whole time and constantly looking over your shoulder and all that on edge, weigh your options. But I'm glad you stayed because it's what you wanted to do. Plus, you didn't want to look like a pussy in front of your boys. So I stayed in the room with the pool table for another hour, maybe longer. I did not leave the area to avoid running into her, but she ended up walking back anyway. Of course she did. She knew what she was doing. This is an accident. When Jessica walked in, both of us locked eyes. I knew it was inevitable that we would end up speaking. She came over to me and said hello and asked how I was doing. I just told her that I was fine and stayed busy with work. So, you all recall, guys, from the last video, everything she did to this guy. 4 years they were together. 3 in college, cheating the whole time, had a job as a freaking stripper, and did a whole lot of other things than dancing on the stage, guarantee you that. Oh, hi, how are you? That's what they do. Since I did not care what was going on in her life, the questions were one-sided during our conversation. Jessica asked if I moved back and where I was staying. I told her I was living in the area and that I was in the process of buying my first home. Good for you, brother. He says, FYI, I did end up buying a house roughly 3 months later that I lived in until I got married. This was back when the housing prices weren't so crazy. Dude, good for you. That's awesome. Already, look what she was missing out on. She said that she had moved again and was only in town to visit her high school friends. I simply made a comment that said, it appears that you are entertaining some of the guys in the area. Yes, she's always entertaining somebody. She was on stage doing it in other ways, but now, It says here, her face went from pleasant to blank in a second. She kept her eyes down towards the floor and said that she wanted me to forgive her. They're like, hey, whatever, I forgive you. Remember, this is the girl who's the daughter of the preacher who also is a serial cheater. Says here, Zach came in clutch and asked how Tyler was doing. The question was hilarious and made me visibly smile. After she received a justified insult, she asked if I would speak outside with her. Tyler was the dude that this dude walked in on, that she acted like I was just a friend and obviously she was cheating on him with. Well, to satisfy my own curiosity, I agreed, and we head outside to a side door in the parking lot. She asked if I was seeing anyone. This broad actually thinks she has a chance with this guy. This is what I tell you guys about perception. Once a woman has a perception of you, whether that's accurate or not, good luck getting her to change that. After everything she did. I told her that I date when I find someone interesting. She then asked if we could both catch up the following night alone. Of course. I smiled. I responded, fuck no. I left her in the parking lot that evening. I'm sure that felt good, man. Ordinarily, I'd say don't even bother talking to her, but you know what? You deserve that. You earned that. And I'm sure that shocked her. She's like, what? Every other guy loves me. He says, guys, never take back, entertain, or have you-know-what with an ex. It's like riding your childhood bicycle as an adult. It doesn't make any sense. Well, a lot of people rode her as a bicycle. I believe my final comment was, I think your date is waiting for you inside. I went back in, played another game or two, and then left the bar with my friends. No goodbyes from me to Jessica. Awesome, man. I'm sure that felt good. And oh, was her ego damaged. Well, we're not done yet, gentlemen. It would be about 5 more years until I heard from her again. See? They always come back. During this time, I stayed focused and did not stop working on my career or going to the gym. After our breakup years earlier and getting the furniture out of her apartment, I blocked her phone number and social media accounts. Good for you. Absolutely, that's the way to go. Word of advice, gentlemen, the best way to break up is to make a very clean break and go completely radio silent. It drives your ex insane since they want to know what you are doing. They either must make fake social media profiles or get new phone numbers, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, guys, they're always going to keep tabs on you. Always. Because remember, even if they break up with you, still, you're backup. Because in their mind, they're so amazing, you'll take them back. Well, the last time I heard from Jessica was after I took my next serious girlfriend to a baseball game. This would have been during the summer of 2017. I was not as active on social media, but I would have an update every 2 to 3 months. Since my girlfriend Bailey tagged me in photos, I made sure to add them for my friends to see as well. I've been dating Bailey for roughly a year and have been going very well. Well, Jessica had to have seen some of my photos on social media. I'm guessing it was from friends or family keeping her in the loop. He says, trust me, your exes will keep track of you. They always do, guys. Part of my job is to negotiate with sales reps on behalf of my employer. Naturally, I receive phone calls from people that are not on my contact list. One particular evening, after Bailey and I went to our baseball game, I had a call from a random phone number. Who could it be? I assumed it was a sales rep calling me for work-related projects. Obviously, it was not work-related. It was Jessica. She would have been 27 or 28 at the time. I'm going to stop right there. 27 or 28. What does that mean? It means she's close to 30. Her prime is quickly going bye-bye. But I'm sure there's other things going on. Jessica said that she wanted to reach out since it had been years just to see how I was doing. No, it isn't just to see how you're doing. It's because her life no doubt is dog crap, and she needs you to fix her problems. Naturally, I was caught off guard. I told her I was fine and asked how she had been. It had been years since we ran into each other at that bar. She had to know that I wasn't interested. Well, that makes sense, but when do women actually make sense? Her ego's so big that, hey, she was once the girl that was on stage, shaking her ass, getting tips, and doing lap dances and all that, that of course all guys want her, regardless of where she is in life and how big the size of her ass is at this point. But let's see what's going on. She wanted to let me know that she was so sorry for how she treated me during our relationship. Oh, really? Why didn't I get the so sorry 5 years ago, 7 years ago, whenever it was? I told Jessica that I was very thankful that we dated and what she did. I explained to her that she gave me a very important life lesson about women. Since Jessica, I knew to be more assertive and with my standards and cautious with women I dated. Ooh, oh snap. Jessica did not have a coherent response, but I could hear her crying. Shocker. Hobag Handbook Chapter 2. Jessica said that she now wished she could take back everything she'd done, and we stayed together. Sounds typical of a gal that is now on the path to downward spiral. I told her not to feel bad for me. I survived and I'm happy. The conversation was mainly listening to Jessica's attempts to form sentences in between sobs. So she's going on full-on Tuscan Raider here. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I hung up the phone with her right then and there. And I blocked the number that she called from. Well, I'm sure she was really crying after that. Out of my own curiosity, I had Bailey look her up on social media. Now, here we go, guys. Drum roll. She became a, wait for it, single mom. And clearly did not take good physical care of herself. We had a good laugh about what we saw, and I've not checked back on Jessica ever since. There you go. There's a reason why she's reaching out. It's not because she wants to see how he's doing or tell him how sorry she is. Her life is crap. Of course she's a single MOM. And again, hadn't taken care of herself. Translation, her caboose is a lot bigger than it was when she was doing a little dance, shaking a little love, or whatever, doing a little dance, make a little love up on stage at the strip club. Oh, she's changed. And now she wants the nice guy, or who she perceives as a nice guy, to solve her problems. Nope. Let her baby daddy solve her problems. Says, some more information about me. It might shock you a little bit, but I'm a relationship guy. Dude, I'm not at all surprised you're a relationship guy, but you're just a guy that has this knowledge. I'm 36 years old now. I did end up marrying Bailey, and she moved in with me after 4 years of dating. Okay, that's some time in there. That's good. We had a 2-year engagement and have been married ever since. We are expecting our first child together this year after 2 rounds of IVF. And he says, don't worry, SSM, if the baby isn't mine, I'll be a very rich man. Well, good for you, man. Well, congratulations on your child coming up. Sounds like you got a good marriage. Good for you. I'm sure after all what you went through with Jessica, you learned a lot the hard way. But that set the path for you meeting Bailey. And I'm willing to bet you that probably if you hadn't learned a lot of the lessons you learned about asserting yourself, taking charge, doing what's best for you, all these things, it probably wouldn't have worked out as well with Bailey. But anyhow, congratulations. And if the kid ain't yours, well, you're out of there. I always stayed in decent shape and have been very proud of it. For a career, I changed employers several times to work myself higher into companies. I'm a 6-figure earner, and I'm very proud of that accomplishment given the rural area that I live in. Yeah, it's great, man. Mid-30s, 6-figure, especially if you're out in the country. Life has been good to me, and I hope this story is not just entertaining, but gives some good lessons for the high school, college men. Advice that I want to give, he says, he's going to give a few pieces of advice, and he's got good ones. He says, number 1, never enter a long-distance relationship. Amen. He learned the hard way. Number 2, study your girl's family. If they're crazy, she probably is too. I think I've mentioned these things a few times. Remember her family, they were nuts. Dad was a preacher. She had several half-brothers and sisters as a result of his cheating. Yeah, wasn't a good thing. 3, worry more about your own goals than chasing women. I promise you will get them if you are successful. Of course. The problem is most guys make their goals chasing women. The guys that make their goals chasing success, making something of themselves, the women chase them. Number 4, remain very calm and uninterested during and after breakup in public. That's it for me. Best regards. Well, bro, that's good. Like I said, you did a great job leaving us on a cliffhanger in the other video. Now I know what it's like to all you guys. I leave on cliffhangers all the time, particularly on my second channel. But that's great. And again, it proves they always come back, and particularly when their life goes down the crapper. But the thing is, I guarantee you that if her life hadn't gone down the crapper, if she wasn't a single MOM in her late 20s, or probably doubled in size, she had, obviously she couldn't keep her hands off the Krispy Kreme, then clearly you may not have heard from her. But you would have eventually, in my opinion. But in the bar situation, then later on, because they always think, that you're the same guy and you'll take them back because you were such a good guy before. And obviously, in their opinion, too nice, clueless, they'll take them back. But guess what? There are a lot of guys out there that learn the hard way, but learn, and they are born again hard. And you were, and you did a damn good job. And again, I got to say, you handled it like a boss in your story when you put her, revealed and exposed her on social media to her family. That's awesome. Then you banged some of her friends. That was even more awesome. They say no honor among thieves. There was also no honor among hoes. And obviously I got back to her. So good for you. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, if you got a great story to share, send it my way. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's a good one, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.